What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Disney's downfall. If you guys didn't know, March 21st of 2025, Disney came out with the live action Snow White. What's funny about this is that this movie was supposed to come out a year ago in 2024, but because of all the backlash they got, they pushed it to the next year, this year. And already within 10 days, this movie has gotten the worst rating Disney has ever gotten for any movie, let alone live action. It has a 1.3 stars out of 10 for a rating, which 1.3. 1.3, that's crazy. And on Rotten Tomatoes, it's on there for 30 or 40% ratings. That is insane. I mean, Disney should just scrap this project and restart in 10 years because this was ridiculous. I mean, how can you screw up the first Disney princess movie that was made in 1937? Are you serious? Before we get into the live action, we're going to talk about the animation first, because let's go movie to movie, honestly. In the animation of Snow White, Snow White's character was based on, one, her name Snow White, because her skin white as snow, her hair black as a raven, and her lips as red as a strawberry. They transformed her into who we now know, Snow White. In the movie, she's wishing over a well, she's singing, the prince hears her, he falls in love with her, she falls in love with him, the queen sees, and she's like off with her head. Not really, she just told her to carve out her heart and bring it with the huntsman. But anyways, the huntsman couldn't do it, and he let Snow White ride off into the woods, to which Snow White, with the help of her animal friends, she sees the cottage, she cleans, she sings, she cooks. Then she sleeps. And that's when the 7 dwarfs come in. They go, they see Snow White, they're all, after a little bit of a confusion, they're singing, they're happy, they're dancing, they're eating. And then the evil queen found out that Snow White's still alive, gives her an apple, poison. Snow White is dead. The only way to wake her up is an act of true love's kiss. So then the dwarves make a nice coffin, glass coffin, and the 7 dwarves and the animals are all around her with flowers, and the prince sees, gives her a kiss, she wakes up, and they go riding off into the sunset, happily ever after. I haven't seen the movie in a while, so I'm hoping that was everything, unless I'm missing some details, but that's basically what sums it up in the animation. Now, in the live action of Snow White, they went a completely different route. I mean, I was flabbergasted in that movie theater. I walked out of that movie theater. I did the walk of shame, honestly. I was cringing from head to toe. I couldn't believe what they have done, honestly. It first starts off with kind of telling a story of how the kingdom once was. You know, her mother then passed away, and, you know, Snow White is kind. And then they have it where the evil queen is an enchantress, which I thought was actually a good touch. I was like, okay, that seems pretty good. And then it downfalled after that, because then the father left the kingdom, and the evil queen is now the stepmother. She is the queen. She rules everything. The villagers have no food, barely any clothes, no money, no water, nothing. They're basically barely scraping by, right? Snow White doesn't really, even though she wants to help, she also doesn't really know how to, so she's kind of just stuck. Until she meets a thief who's stealing potatoes. Yes, you heard me. He's stealing potatoes. He then kind of, I guess, got into Snow White's brain of like, oh yes, we should save the kingdom. The evil queen kind of finds out. She tells the huntsman to go carve out her heart. The huntsman doesn't do that. He lets her into the woods. and she finds the cottage and she kind of sleeps. So she doesn't cook or clean, she just sleeps. And then the 7 dwarfs find out. She has them cleaning and cooking with her. And then she goes off with the bandits, because instead of the 7 dwarves, we also have bandits, and there's 7 of them too. And I guess the guy that she likes is the head of the bandits. Okay. Then the queen sends out her soldiers out to Snow White, and Snow White is kind of in trouble. And so right when the soldier is about to hit Snow White with an arrow, the bandit saves her. Later on, the bandit becomes okay. He sets off to go fight the evil queen while Snow White stays there in the cottage. To which then the evil queen drinks her little drink, becomes that old lady, and gives Snow White the apple. The apple, to which is poisoned, and Snow White falls asleep. The 7 dwarfs come, they find her basically dead. And again, just like in the animation movie, they have it where it's true love's first kiss. And what's funny about this is that you would think in the live action they would make a beautiful glass coffin and flowers everywhere and all of that. She's laying on a rock for days. She is laying on a rock for days. On a rock. So then the bandit comes, he sees her, gives her a light peck. She wakes up, and then she's like, we have to fight the queen. And then her and the queen kind of get into this like little messy argument. And then Snow White is like, I remember you, Steve. I remember you, Ryan. I remember you, Logan. And then the soldiers are like, I remember that too. And then the evil queen basically kills herself because she smashes the mirror and she just kind of vanishes. That was the whole live action. Now you can tell me that was the stupidest thing you ever heard. Because it is. Trust me, I know it is. Now that we have both of the storytelling movies, let's compare the two, because wow, is that crazy? First of all, the person who plays Snow White is Rachel Zegler, and she is an amazing actress. I've seen her in Shazam. I've also seen her in The Hunger Games, and she has a beautiful voice. However, Disney did her so dirty. The dress that she had looked so tacky. It looked like a damn costume I could get at Party City. Party City probably sells better costumes than the one here. I mean, it's disgusting, honestly. And what's funny about this too is that in the live action, her red bow gets lost when she's in the woods. So for the rest of the movie, she has her red bow on for 2 minutes, and the rest of the movie, she doesn't have the red bow on. She just has that dress on. And it's like, are you serious right now? Also, can you really call Disney live action when it's not really a live action? I mean, why are the 7 dwarves CGI? Isn't the whole point of a live action to have live action people play the live action movie? Why are we animating the humans? I just can't understand it. Like, you could have hired dwarf actors to play the 7 dwarves. Like, please. Now, let's talk about the evil queen's outfit. Her outfit was very interesting. It was very shiny, it was very glamorous, it was full of gems. The crown was made of stained glass in the live action, which was nothing to what the evil queen wore in the animation. In the animation, she had a purple gown with a black cloak and a gold crown. How did we go from a gold crown to a stained glass crown? Are you serious right now? How tacky is that? Disney, you are ruining your numbers. That is all I gotta say. What's funny too is that even though, yes, I am defending a little bit with Rachel Zegler, I'm not defending her on this subject. She proceeded to go on interviews bashing the original Snow White movie. I mean, she said that it scared her as a kid, to which I can understand why, but like, why say that in an interview? She said that she didn't really like Snow White as a kid. She didn't like the idea of a prince saving the princess. It's not 1937 anymore, to which she claims. And goes over this whole ordeal, and it's like, if you don't like the character you're playing, why play it? I don't know. She just didn't seem to love the movie. I feel like, you just shouldn't play something that you're not meant to play. If you go from her interviews to all of the other Disney Princess live action movies interviews, all those other girls are saying on how much they love their character, how much they want to be this character. They are in love with their characters. I remember when Beauty and the Beast live action came out, Emma Watson did a beautiful job. She portrayed Belle perfectly. I could not see anyone else playing Belle besides her. And, she, in her interviews, she loved her character. She fell in love with the story and all of that, as do I. As someone, my favorite Disney princess is Belle and Rapunzel. They're also my two favorite Disney movies. I'm absolutely in love with their story, and I can relate to them so much. So, seeing that live action and seeing the comparison between that live action and this one, it's kind of, degrading in a sense. I mean, how did we go from this beautiful live action glamour to live action tacky? I mean, what was Disney trying to pull off here exactly? Even the bandits, I mean, it made no sense for Snow White to fall in love already with a bandit than fall in love with a prince. Like, how does that make sense? You might as well just had her fall in love with the prince if she was gonna fall in love with the bandit. So why did we need the thieves in the movie? There was no point whatsoever for that. Again, don't know what Disney was doing with this. Even towards the end of the movie, Snow White, there was a whole white party going on. I mean, like, hello, are we in Diddy's house right now? Why is everyone dressed in white as if we're at a wedding? We didn't even witness a wedding. So why is everyone dressed in white and dancing all around? Are you serious? Like, this ain't Diddy. We are not going up to his house. So why make that? And especially considering that in the in the animation, she gets on a horse with the prince and rides off into the sunset. What did we need this whole white dress party for? Like, oh my goodness. Last but certainly not least, what were they doing with her hair? Her hair literally looked like Lord Farquaad in Shrek. I mean, I was cringing the whole time because I was staring at her hair. What were you doing? What is this? Are you serious? Like, you guys could not have designed it like to be kind of fluffy and curly. You guys had to do like a loop like that, like what, she's like Layla from Star Wars? Oh Lord, have mercy, please, because wow, I wanted to walk out of that theater 20,000 times every time I had to see her hair. I mean, I just couldn't justify it. Like, honestly, I had to look away every time. I was like shielding my eyes from the cringiness of her hair. I couldn't deal with it, especially when it was on that rock, okay? Disney did Rachel dirty, and Rachel did Snow White dirty. I mean, even the lyrics were changed in the movie. I mean, we went from wishing on a well to waiting on a wish. So we went from a whimsical, soft touch song to a hardcore, I'm gonna save the kingdom. Like, you go do that for sure. I give you luck. Here's some potatoes. have a good day. I think I have covered everything with Snow White. May Disney come back from this dramatic fall, quite frankly. This tragedy of a movie. Yeah, that's honestly all I can say for this is I don't even know what the correct term would be besides disgusted. I am disgusted with this whole movie. I had to go back home and watch the animation just to refresh and rewire my brain after the toxic movie I had watched. But yeah. Let me know if you guys were disappointed in this live action, because I certainly was. I don't even know what I was expecting, but certainly not that. And yeah, if the satellites work, you guys will be seeing this video, and if not, woo, alrighty, bye.